What's up, everybody? Vasily here, or William, depending on how I know you. I'm super excited to be here because I've wanted to make this video for literally like 10 years, and for whatever reason today, I decided to get my ass up off the couch and I'm forcing myself to make it right now. I want to show you how I stretch before I exercise. That way I do not get injured. I do these stretches before I exercise, and I also do these in between workouts throughout the week, just whenever I'm feeling kind of tight, to help break up the lactic acid in my muscles. It's a stretching tutorial. It's a static stretching tutorial, and it's going to be great for beginners if you don't know anything about exercising. And it's also going to be good if you're like in between. If you're a bodybuilder, you probably know a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know. I'm not a professional sports person. I'm not like a doctor, right? This is just what I do for myself, and I feel awesome after I do it. So without further ado, let's go. The first thing you want to do is practice staying in good posture for the duration of these stretches. The way you do that is by inhaling, and as you inhale, you roll your shoulders back, and then on the exhale, you drop them down and kind of pinch your shoulder blades together. So you inhale as your shoulders go up and back, and then exhale and your shoulders go down. Once your shoulders are down, just hold that position, and that's it. Your chest is going to be puffed out a little bit. This is the proper posture for doing the majority of stretching and exercising that you're ever going to do. Like, shoulders down, you're good. Once I'm in there, I start doing circles. You want to lean as far as you can until you feel your sides getting real tight. You don't want to push it to where it hurts. You just want it to be, you want to feel it stretching just a little bit, but more or less, this is just to kind of get you warmed up, and then go the other way. So you want to do like 5 or 10 of those. Next, with your good posture, roll your shoulders back and down. Take one of your arms, put it down and diagonal, and then take your head and you want to tilt it to the side. You should feel it stretching all the way up from your head right here, all the way down into your shoulder. You do this and you just hold it for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You could hold it for as long as you want. Don't hurt yourself, because if you push this angle too hard, as well as with any other stretch, like, you never want to push it, right? You just want to get it to where you're like 60% to like 80% tension, right? Like, you should feel it stretching and pulling, but not to the point where it's painful. So you want to go like that. Rotate your arm a little bit. If you rotate your wrist, you could feel it like pulling your tendons and everything in different ways. It's pretty interesting. Go like that, just kind of roll around a little bit. You want to stretch your shoulder really good. So that's the left side. Let's do the right side. Same thing. You take your arm, put it like down and then backwards a little bit, and then roll your head. Just kind of tilt your head the other way, and you'll feel it like immediately. It'll start right here and travel all the way down into your shoulder, into your bicep, down into your arm. Feels really good. You want to do this, hold it 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So that's going to stretch out your shoulder. Now let's stretch our lats. So what we do is, in good posture, we roll our shoulders back. You take your arm and you just bring it up and over your head, and then you lean. And as you lean, you'll feel it. It'll stretch all the way from your hip, and it'll go all the way up, almost like into your armpit. Sometimes you could feel it in your tricep a little bit, but you just want to get a really nice stretch going. You go like that. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually put my arm down here, and then it allows you to go a little bit further. You go like this. You can kind of roll forward if you want. Go back and forth, but like, I feel it in my hip. I feel it like all up in here, and it's all over the place. So you want to do that. See the left side. Oh, my right side is tight right now. So Let's do the right side. Your arm is great because it can help you like push yourself back up. From here, I like to do a twist. What you want to do is inhale and then exhale right before you twist, because by exhaling right before you twist, there's less air inside your body, and it's actually going to help you to twist a little bit further. So I'll go like right here, and then I'll take a breath in and out, and on the exhale, that's when you twist. I almost always get a pop. I don't think you could hear it on camera, but I just popped like 3 times. That's a good one. Let's do the other way. There we go. So let's take our feet, stretch out our feet. Kind of go like this a little bit if you want. A lot of times if your knees are hurting, you can kind of rub your knee right now, but just stretch out your legs, you know, kind of start getting a little bit loose. Take your toes, you can point your toes back and forth, back and forth. Work out your ankles a little bit. So the first thing I like to do once my legs are no longer in the crossed position is I like to start stretching my my hip abductors. And the way that I do this, I'm going to take my right arm, my right elbow on the inside, and I want to take my left leg. So you've got your right arm and you've got your left leg, right? You want to put the arch of your foot inside the inside of your elbow on your right arm. So you take your left foot and you put it inside your right arm. So you want to go like that, and then you hold it, and you could take your other, this part, take your other side, and you bring it close to your body. When it's close to your body, you'll feel it. It's going to stretch your butt. It's going to stretch your hip abductor, like your whole leg. It's a gnarly stretch, like it's great. The first thing you do is you take right arm, left foot, you go like this, and then you bring it into your body. You'll feel it. If it's comfortable enough, you could rock back and forth a little bit. So normally I'll get in this position, rock back and forth maybe 10, 20 times, something like that. After you're done rocking, after you feel like your hip loosened up a little bit, take your left foot, drop it to the floor on the other side of your leg. Take your left foot and drop it to the floor. So now you're sitting like this. You take the inside of that same elbow, put it on your knee, and then you bring it in close to your body. This is, again, going to really, really stretch this whole section right here. I know this is super complicated. Most people, it takes them a couple minutes when I try to explain to them how to do this. It's very like, it's kind of like complicated, I guess. But it's an incredible stretch. Like, it's fantastic. So you want to do this. I'll show you again when we do the other leg right now. So you go like this. So this is like the second step of this stretch. The last part is, so you're like hugging your knee, right? Take your left hand, put it in the back. Take that same elbow that's cupping it, bringing it closer to you. So you want to take your elbow, put it on the other side of your knee, and then you're going to do a twist to the left, pushing off of this knee. So we're going to go like this, like that, and then twist to the left. That's going to give you like a crazy stretch on this whole left hand section of your body. Now let's do the other leg. I know that was complicated. Let's do the other leg. Elbow, opposing foot. Elbow, opposing foot. Take your foot, put it into your elbow, and then bring it close to your body. A lot of people are not going to be able to do this, especially if you're new to stretching, if you haven't been exercising and like you're really, really tight. So one thing you could do if you're not physically capable of doing this is you take it and instead of putting it in your elbow, just hold it up. That's fine. Your objective is to get this up in here. But if you can't do that, this is perfectly fine. So you take it, just grab your foot, grab your leg, still kind of bring it into your body and just go like this. It's just a variation. It's just for people that are a little bit less flexible, and this is perfectly okay because if you do this, it's going to ultimately get you closer to doing this. So you want to rock back and forth a bunch. Now, here's where the complicated part comes. Take your foot, drop it down, and then take the same elbow and put it on your knee. And hug yourself. Bring it up in. You're going to feel it. It feels so good all up and down my hip. I feel it a little bit in my my hamstring. I'm really, really like, this is stretching big time right now. And if you can't do this, it's okay. If you're doing this, still put your foot on the opposite side and then just bring it in. It's fine. It's totally okay if you can't do it. Just bring it in and just hug yourself. And you could, the closer you bring it to your body, the more you're going to feel it right here on this whole section. So you just want to hug yourself and bring your knee into your body. After you do this part, it's time to twist. So you're going to take your arm, hold it over here, take your elbow, again, put it on the opposite side, and then twist. After your twist is done, stretch out your legs again. Now, we want to stretch the underside of our legs. A lot of people, when they're in grade school, they're taught to stand up and bend down and touch their feet. This is basically the same thing, except it's safer because you're sitting and you don't have to worry about balancing or toppling over. You know, it's harder to pull something like this, so you definitely want to do this one sitting down, especially if you're kind of a beginner. So what I like to do is, typically, I'll go up to a wall and I'll put my foot flush up against the wall just so that my foot can't really like go forward. It's not a big deal if it does, but like it definitely helps if it's straight, you know, because when you go like this, you can be tempted to like point your toes and it's just not as effective. So usually I'll go up to a wall and I'll just boom, I go like that. So you take one of your feet, put it up against the wall. It doesn't matter which one. You take your other foot, the flat part, and just boom, up against your knee, and that's it. Take a deep breath in, up, and then exhale and go down as far as you can. If you're only able to go this far, that's fine. Just keep working at it. You'll eventually come over here and you'll eventually be able to get as far down as you want, pretty much. So this one just takes practice. It takes patience. But it's such a good exercise for like making your like your legs just feel so much better. So you want to do this bit. Don't bounce, because when you bounce, it's just inconsistent. So you want to do the left side. Now let's switch. You want to do the right side. Oh man, this feels good. This feels so good. This is awesome. Next, let's get into the butterfly pose. So you want to take your feet, put them together, and then bring them close into you. The closer you put your feet to your center, the more you're going to feel it stretching the inside of your legs. So you can start out, just kind of pull them in. You can hold them for a couple seconds. And then if you want, you could put your elbows on top of your knees and just kind of let the weight of your arms like push your legs down. If you're just getting started, you might only be able to go like this. Just keep at it. Again, just keep at it. It'll slowly, like nature and gravity will slowly work itself down, and like you'll get further down, don't worry. Fun fact, the ancient monks used to use this position during their meditation sessions because they believed that it heightened and improved their immune system. So a lot of times when you see the monks going like this in their position, again with good posture, right? When you see the monks going like this and meditating, it's believed that supposedly it helps your immune system. Whether it's true or not, I don't really know. Regardless, this is a very important stretch. You don't want to pull your groin. Pulling your groin sucks. You can't walk. Let's do this one. Sweet. From here, you want to roll backwards. So we're going to take our legs, bring them in, and just roll on back to your back. Take your knees, kind of tuck them into your chest a little bit. A lot of times you'll feel your back crack when you do this. And then just take your arms, kind of stretch them back. Oh, take your head. You can stretch to the right. You can bring it to the left. A lot of times I'll take my tailbone and I'll sit up and then roll my spine back down. And when you roll it back down, what it does is it creates a pulling effect on your spine. So your tailbone will be sitting on the ground and your shoulders, it rolls itself out. And when you do that, it feels so good. It like separates the vertebrae a little bit, and like it's just the nicest feeling. So I'll do that for a couple seconds. I'll just enjoy the pulling feeling, and then I'll take my knees, tuck them into my chest, and then you want to rock back and forth. So left and right and left and right. This is going to be super incredible for any lower back pain that you have. Like you roll around on the muscles, and oh my God, this one feels so good. So you're gonna do this, and then after you go left and right, now let's start rolling around in a clockwise motion, right? So we're gonna roll around. First, let's go clockwise. You'll actually feel this in your shoulders a lot of the times too. Let's go clockwise. Now let's go counterclockwise. Man, this feels good. Okay. I like to stretch out my legs like all the time as much as possible. This helps me recalibrate myself. Now we're gonna do another hip abductor stretch. So take your left foot, your left ankle, and put it on top of your right knee. Take your left foot, put it on top of your right knee. Take your arms and reach through and grab your knee. Now you're gonna pull it into your body. As you pull it into your body, you're gonna feel your hip abductor on your left side, on the opposite side, like seriously being stretched. Like this is the craziest stretch for your hip abductor. I know we stretched them earlier, but like it's just good to do it twice. So you want to pull through. I'll do it again. So your legs are like this. Take your left ankle, put it on top of your right knee. Then pull your arms through and bring your knee into your body. Once you bring it into your body, you'll feel it stretching, and it's so crazy. So we're going to do that to the left leg. Let's do the opposite leg. So we're going to take our right foot, put the right ankle on top of the left knee. Take the right foot and put it on top of the left knee. Reach through and pull it toward your chest. Now, I know we said that you're only going to hold this for like 5 to 10 seconds, but on this one, you're always going to be tight almost every single time. So just hold it for as long as you feel like you have to, you know? Don't hold it for longer than like 2 minutes or 3 minutes because you don't want to get hurt, but like, it's okay if you hold it for a while. Oh, I love that one so much. Now let's do a back twist. So take your left ankle, put it back on top of your right knee, and then what you're going to do, this is complicated, so pay attention. Left ankle on top of your right knee, and then you're gonna push with your ankle onto your knee and force your knee to go the opposite way down to the floor. So my left foot is on my right knee, and I'm gonna take my right knee and push it to the left, and your shoulders stay on the floor, right? Don't roll like this. Keep your shoulders planted, and then take your right knee and push it to the left. And as you push it to the left, you'll feel like the craziest stretch in your core. And that's it. Now let's do the opposite. Take your right ankle, put it on top of your left knee, and then you take your left knee and push it down to the right, and then you stretch the left side of your torso. Oh, this one feels good. After you finish that stretch, roll onto your right side. Once you're on your right side, grab your left ankle. Once you have your left ankle, pull your foot back toward your butt, and this is gonna stretch out your quad. So you wanna go like this. This is a lot better than stretching your quad as you're standing up. For the same reason that I mentioned earlier, you don't have to worry about balancing as you're doing this. It's like an isolated static stretch on your quad, and like, it's so much easier to get like a thorough stretch on it. So you wanna do this to your left foot, bring it back. You wanna do this to your right foot. Same thing to your right foot. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, doesn't really matter. You kind of just go as long as you feel that you have to. I will warn you, do not stretch this too much, because I've actually pulled my quad before stretching. In basketball back in high school, we used to do this stretch where we would go like this, and then we would take our ankle and we'd drop it down, and then we would lay like this. And it's cool because it stretches you, but like, it makes it so you can just chill for a while. And like, I did it one time for like 10 minutes, and like, holy crap, I pulled my leg. I couldn't walk for like a week. It was gnarly. It was horrible. I hated it. So you go like this. That's it. Now that you're done stretching your quads, let's go find a wall and let's stretch your calf muscles. Once you have your wall picked out, walk up to it and put your foot at a 45-degree angle. I'm gonna lift up my pants just so you can see that my foot is going down and then up at a 45-degree angle. Once it's like that, kind of step up, keep your knee straight. My knee is straight, step up and just kind of lean into it. And as you lean into it, you're gonna feel it stretching all the way from like behind your knee, all the way down, and it's gonna feel really good. So just kind of put your hand on the wall and just lean into it. Hold this for like 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, something like that. Once I do that, I take my foot, I point it, and then I kind of just roll it around a little bit. You roll it around, and you're gonna feel all the tiny little muscles all around your foot just start to crack. So after you do this, point your foot and then just roll it. It feels really good. Now let's do it to the other side. Got your left foot, you're gonna kind of lean into it, hold it for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. Once you're done, point your foot and then just roll it around. And you're gonna feel it. It's gonna feel awesome. Congratulations. Your lower body is basically completely stretched out, and you should be feeling pretty good by this point. You should be feeling kind of loose, kind of like loosey-goosey. All your blood is starting to flow around all over the place, and you should be feeling pretty good by now. So let's jump into the upper body stuff and let's get started. So the first thing I like to do once it's time for the upper body is I like to stretch my back. So what you do is you take your arm, so take your left arm, and this is a stretch that most people learn in elementary school. Again, this is a very common one. It's basically the only stretch that little kids know, right? So we're gonna do it because it's foundational and it's super important. So you take your left arm and you bring it across your body. You take your right arm and you kind of just pull it in toward your chest. So let's take it, let's pull it in toward your chest. Personally, I like to put my elbow like on my forearm and pull it in like this. I personally feel like there's just a little bit more, there's just more leverage when I do that, and I feel like I could get it a little bit closer to me, and I feel like it's a tighter stretch. So you're gonna go like this, and you're just gonna hold it for, again, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. You should be feeling this in your shoulder as well as like in the back. On your left side, in between your shoulder blade and your spine. There's a muscle that runs along your spine. It's called the erector spinae. It goes from essentially your tailbone all the way up into your shoulder. And it's the part that you could see kind of like right here going straight down. And when you do this stretch, that's the part that you're stretching. You're stretching the muscle where you typically have deep tissue massage work done. So you go like that, you could stretch, you could kind of move your arm up and down, and like you just get like a really nice like back stretch in there. So let's do the left arm. Now let's do the right arm. So put your right arm out and cross your chest, and then just hold it. Just bring it in 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever. So let's hold it for a little bit. Let's go up, let's go down. Again, getting that really nice stretch on your erector spinae over behind your shoulder blade. Let's do that. So now we're good. We're good with the back. Now let's go find another wall. Sweet, I found a wall. Let's stretch our triceps now. So what I wanna do is get a wall, ideally, so it's easiest if you have a corner that goes like this and then that way, right? Or like that and that, like a corner. The corners are easiest. You could do it on any wall, but when you have a corner, you could step into it and it makes the whole thing a little bit more simple. So what you do is, like, I wanna stretch my right arm first, right? So I'm gonna take my arm, and in school, they teach you to do this, right? They teach you to go up, and then you like hold it with your opposite arm and you pull it back. And like, this does work, but it's not like the best, right? It's not what I like to do. So you could do this if you want. You always wanna keep your elbow in. So when you're going like this, don't keep it out, right? Keep it in and push it back. That's gonna give you like a super long stretch. So I like to use the wall because it's sturdy and you could do it and you don't have to worry about your other arm holding it, getting like shaky. So what I do is I take my elbow and I come up to an edge and I put it as high as I can. And then I like put my body on the side of the wall and I use the wall to stretch it. So I go like this and I use the wall to stretch it. And then I take my other arm and I put, because when you do like this, your other arm is gonna like slap yourself in the face. So I take my arm and I hold it. That way this arm is at like a 90-degree angle. It's not cocked out all crazy. It's at like a 90. So I go like that and then I step into it and then I take this arm and I push it. That way it's at a 90. And this is gonna stretch the entire tricep area all the way down the side of my my torso here. But like the majority of the stretch is in your tricep, and you just kind of step into it and that's it. You step into it and then you hold it. And that's it. That feels awesome. Now let's do the other arm. This is actually a doorway, so you're gonna see me disappear right now because I said that you put your arm and then you step into it. So just to prove, just to show you like how much I'm stepping into it, this is how much I'm stepping into it. So I have the doorway. I'm gonna put my elbow and then I'm gonna step into it and I'm gonna use this to push it back. Push it sideways. One more time. I'm gonna put my elbow, I'm gonna step into it, and then I'm gonna use this arm to push my hand to keep it nice and square with my body. I'm super excited. That was freaking awesome. That's a super, super awesome stretch. A lot of times after I do that one, if I've got like weird back stuff still going on after all that crazy stuff we did on the floor, a lot of times between the tricep stretch and the chest stretch that we're gonna do next, it'll like take care of a lot of the soreness and tightness that's in my back. Now, we're gonna take the same wall and we're gonna stretch out our chest. Our chest is super important. Most people, as they stand with poor posture, they're leaning forward, they're slouching like this all day long. And what that does is it contracts your chest and it makes your muscles like tighten up. And what happens is as your muscles get like closer and closer, it starts causing back pain. And so what you have to do is you have to work on lengthening your pectorals. So one way to do that without doing like a massage is you stretch them. So you take a doorway, or you could take the wall, you could use it, you could go like this, you could go like this. It doesn't really matter where you do it. Again, you could use just a flat regular wall if you want, but finding a doorway or like an edge is just, it's so much easier. So what you do is take your arm and put it at a 45-degree angle. So it's like your arm is up and it's going like boom, straight. This guy should be flat. So you take it and you wanna put it on one of the ledges, right? On one of the corners of your wall. You take it and like you put your arms up so it's like boom, straight, and then you step into it, right? You're not going like this, you're not going like that, like your arm should just be straight, and then you're not twisting your body, you're just like stepping forward and keeping everything the same, except this muscle is now getting stretched because that arm is way back there. So like I'm like the camera's there and I'm just going like this. I'm not doing any turns, not doing anything weird, right? So you go like that and you just want to slowly creep it forward. And as you're creeping it forward, you'll feel it. It'll start pulling like up here and it'll like slowly go all the way down in like this whole area. This is probably my favorite stretch because I personally feel that this does the most. This has the most benefit when I'm in pain. It seems to correct a lot of my problems. So you want to hold this one for a good amount of time. As you stretch, your muscle will be really tight in the beginning, and as you hold it, it'll slowly feel less and less tight. It's not because anything weird is happening, it's because the muscle fibers are starting to lengthen a little bit, and it's just becoming more comfortable in that position, which is exactly what you want because this is static stretching, and the idea is to lengthen the muscle fibers just a little bit. So you go like that, you can kind of go down, get like a different angle, you can kind of go up, down, whatever, right? So you do that. Now that's the right side. Let's do the left side. Just to show you how far I'm stepping into it, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do it this way. That way you'll see my body disappear and like you'll know how much to step into it. Don't push yourself too hard because it is easy to get injured. So like I said earlier, only go about 50–60%. So you're gonna keep your arm straight out, put it up against the wall, and then just step into it. I'll do it this way. That way you just get to see one more angle. So let's go like this. Let's keep it like that. And step into it. That's all I'm doing, just stepping into it. That's awesome. The next thing I wanna do is stretch out my biceps. So what I'm gonna do is take my arm. First, I wanna put myself back into good posture. So, once I'm standing like this, take your arm, I'm gonna start with my right arm. So take my right arm and just hold it straight out and down and a little bit back. What I like to do is take my wrist, I'm gonna go like a Pac-Man dude. I know I look kind of funny right now, but you go like this, and then you take your arm and you point it up. Lock your elbow, not like super tight, but just keep your arm straight. You wanna point this thing up, and you're just gonna start feeling the stretch. If you don't feel the stretch, then take your whole arm and move it a little bit further backward, and you'll start to feel the stretch. Once you feel it pulling this whole section right here, you'll probably feel it in your shoulder a little bit. And then once you start feeling it like all up in here, that's like when you're at the right angle. So you start going like this, and then you're gonna slowly take your wrist and roll it around as far as you can. And the further that you start rolling it, you'll start noticing it's pulling on your tendons more. And that's a good thing because now you're starting to feel it. Don't do it too hard. This one you gotta kind of ease into and figure out like where a good place is. But after you're done, like your arms are gonna feel so good. So you go like this, you start like this, and then you just slowly roll it all the way as much as you can. Once it's like inverted like this, it's gonna be pulling really tight. I actually feel it in my forearm a lot right now too. I feel it in my forearm. I feel it like on the inside of my elbow right here. It feels so good. So you're gonna do that, just kind of slowly roll it. And then once you feel like it has done a decent job of stretching, then you're gonna take it and you're just gonna point your wrist the opposite direction. So you're going like, so you start out like this, and then you roll your wrist forward and then backwards, and then you take it and you point your wrist in the opposite direction, and now you roll it back the same way you originally did until you're standing there like this. When you're in this position, you're gonna feel it like super strong, like a super gnarly stretch. That's awesome because it means that you're tight and like you're gonna feel better after you're done. Sweet. That feels awesome. See, I did that. When I released it, I actually felt something crack in my back just now, and like it feels like a little bit better. Let's do the other arm. So you're gonna start like this, like Pac-Man, right? I know I look like an idiot right now, but it helps. It's like, it's a good stretch. So you start like this, and then you roll your wrist forward, and you go all the way back. Do this slow, do this very slowly. Like, the objective is to feel the stretch, feel the pull. Don't just go through the motions. It's better to do a little bit of stretching correctly than a whole bunch of stretches and they're all just half-assed and they don't actually benefit you at all. So you do that, and then you put your wrist the other way, and then you slowly roll it back. Sweet. After I do that, I kind of just, you know, stretch out my fingers a little bit. It's optional. You don't really have to do that if you don't want to. You're basically done with the entire stretch at this point, the entire routine. You should be feeling like $1 million. There's a couple more things that are kind of optional. One thing is you could stand here and you could kind of like roll around if you want your core to be stretched a little bit. There's really no specifics on how to do it. Just don't get hurt. Just kind of take it easy, you know, roll your body around in circles. You could do that. There's another one that my therapist, my physical therapist back when I was in basketball showed me. That's like super, super awesome. It's not really a thing that I do all the time, but it's definitely gonna help you if you're having shoulder pain. I'll show you how to do it right now. So this is the last thing that I'm gonna show you for my stretching routine. This is a thing that I only do once in a while if I'm having shoulder pain, but like it's super, super cool. Sometimes what happens is your arms will feel like they're locked up and like they don't, like you'll start going like this or like that, and it's like super, super tight. Like you just start moving around and it's like, there's junk, like it's not working, you know, maybe your arm is clicking, maybe it's just being weird. So what you could do is you wanna, oh, my microphone. So what you do is stand up and then bend over. Let one of your arms, I'll do it like this. Let one of your arms hang free. Put your other arm on your knee. Let your arm hang free. The free arm, you want to use your body to go back and forth and just let your arm swing. So first, you want to do side to side, right? So let's put your arm down. Let's do 5 in each direction just so you get the idea. So you start like this, you go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's go vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's do clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when you do that, you can do a lot. You could do like 10, 15, 20. If I'm having shoulder pain, sometimes I'll do like 10 of each direction. Sometimes I'll do 20. If you do that as like a standalone thing, like you don't stretch, you just only do that, you could do it 1, 2, 3 times a day, and like within like a week, like usually your shoulders will start feeling a lot more loose, a lot more opened up, and overall you're gonna be in a better mood because you're in less pain. Well, that's basically it. That's my entire stretching routine. I do that a couple times a week, usually at least 2 or 3 times a week, and honestly, Like, I love it. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. I hope that if you're watching this, you got something out of it. I know there's a million different videos on how to stretch on YouTube, on like, everyone thinks that they're like a fitness genius, and like, that's fine, you know, take a little bit of knowledge from every video and just like smash it all into your own smorgasbord of like just ideas, and like come up with your own thoughts. Don't just take one video and like listen to it. Like, watch a bunch of different videos and like put together your own routine. You know, the key is to find something that works for you, because ultimately you're the one doing it. And if you don't like the stretches and the exercises that you're doing, you're not going to stick to it. It's for you and no one else. Thanks for your time. I'll see you next time.